And we're kind of in post-show.
Kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
So Sam Harris?
Well, wait for what's-his-face.
Good old what's-his-face.
Good old...
Did it
what's his
censor
name?
somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he turned censor
It
off.
censored Leslie earlier.
I thought Leslie could change stuff or not.
Is it no censor? Censor off? What the fuck?
Censor off.
There you go.
Huh? Okay, good.
Oh, you're in there as
Thank you.
you streamer?
Yeah, I didn't log in for whatever reason, I guess. I should have just said a whole bunch more random crap just to throw everything off.
Fuckity fuck.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat.
I agree with that.
So there's a subreddit called Startled Cats that I think is my favorite right now because it's just people scaring cats and taking video of it. Like, it's fucking hilarious.
My chat room's
That
all
sounds
messed up now.
mean.
It's so fun. Like, no, look at this one.
Are we going to go post-show?
We're post-show already. I shouldn't have been because now people on YouTube are annoyed with me because we're like talking about cats and shit. But
There's nothing wrong with talking about cats.
all right, so let's start with. God, I wish my chat room would come up. Let's start with Sam Harris. So don't know if anyone in the chat room is familiar with what has been going on the last week with Sam Harris, but let me bring up the article. A reporter, he did an appearance at George
For
Washington.
posterity's sake, do you want to explain who Sam Harris is?
Oh, okay.
Just in case.
If you're listening to this show and you don't know who Sam Harris is,
Let me Google
please
that
continue
for
to
you.
listen to this show because you really need us. But Sam Harris is an atheist and author of such books as Letter to a Christian Nation, The Moral Landscape,
The End of Faith.
End of Faith. Most recent book is what is it called? Waking Up. It's a book, a guide to spirituality without religion, which I would really like to talk to him about because I hate that word spirituality, and if anyone can bring me to it, it's going to be Sam Harris. So anyway, he did an event at George Washington University. A reporter for the Washington Post, Michelle Borstein, was interviewing him, or I guess she was the moderator. Apparently they didn't get along too well. He said some things that maybe rubbed her the wrong way. Well, this is his story that rubbed her the wrong way. And so she kind of hit back at him in her piece that she posted and made him sound sexist. And then I almost said the feminists, but I feel like that's really condescending. Feminists kind of took him to task for what she wrote, including Greta Christina, who went back and forth with him on Twitter in an epic...
For like days, apparently.
In an epic Twitter battle, the likes of which your children will only hear about. So let me read a little bit of what Michelle Borstein wrote, and then I want to talk about... So Sam Harris released an explanation of his comments today called "I'm not the sexist pig you're looking for." But let's hear what she wrote. She wrote, quote, "I also asked Harris at the event why the vast majority of atheists and many of those who buy his books are male, a topic which has prompted some to raise questions of sexism in the atheist community. Harris's answer was both silly and then provocative. It can only be attributed to my overwhelming lack of sex appeal," he said to huge laughter, which I think is a funny joke.
Yeah, self-deprecating jokes
I like it.
If
usually
you're a
funny.
sexist pig, it would be
Unless
funny.
I'm saying.
It's heteronormative, which he
just not
talks about in his thing. He was afraid that it was a heteronormative joke. It is, but I think that's not a big deal. He went on to say, quote, "I think it may have to do with my personal slant as an author, being very very critical of bad ideas. This can sound very angry to people. People just don't like to have their ideas criticized. There's something about that critical posture that is, to some degree, intrinsically male and more attractive to guys than women. The atheist variable just has this it doesn't obviously have this nurturing, coherence-building, extra estrogen vibe that you would want by default if you wanted to attract as many women as men. And in particular, the extra estrogen vibe got him into a little bit of trouble. But also his characterization of the nurturing thing.
Well, he's a neuroscientist,
That's
right?
Yes, he's a neuroscientist, which is
So
what
he would
baffles me.
Yeah, he would understand like the effects that testosterone and estrogen have on the human brain.
One would think,
Right. So,
Maybe.
but clearly doesn't.
well, does it not affect someone's aggression or no?
No, hold on. With regard to the estrogen vibe comment, in his defense, what he was saying in his own defense, he said that he said it in such a fashion that it also got laughter because
Yes.
it was said in
Because it was
such a way that it was
sarcastic.
sarcasm.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for bringing that up, Jay, because I think that's fair. I think that was also a joke, and I think that's a permissible joke to make. What I think is impermissible, especially for... So this is one of the things. First of all, I want to back up and just say, I don't think Sam Harris is a raging misogynist or sexist pig. I think that he's wrong here, and as a neuroscientist, I am really, really confused as to why he doesn't know these things.
No, but I was under the impression that testosterone and estrogen just affect the way you.
But that's not what he said.
Okay,
it
yeah.
isn't.
What
Okay.
is your argument
So-
against what his belief?
Okay,
or
so
what his statement is.
So two things. One, he's saying that men tend to be more atheist than women, which globally is not the case. In this country, it is,
Okay.
which probably has more to do. Which
Probably
makes
other
it
people that are buying this book.
it's a cultural construct and not a biological one, which is the first thing that I think he needs to realize. The second thing, and more importantly in my mind, is that he's talking about stereotypes of women that aren't actually supported by science. So he's talking about women as more nurturing than men. And that is a really common stereotype of women, but it is a stereotype.
Is it not statistically accurate?
It is not.
It is not.
It is not supported by any evidence whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
Which I also did not know.
No,
until
I
this
just
week.
figured just statistically, women were considered more.
It's a stereotype, so you're primed to accept it, as is Sam Harris. It's not supported by any science whatsoever.
Oh.
Every study that has looked at this has found that it's
How many studies are we talking? Have you looked for both?
all. I saw a.
Okay, so define nurturing then, if that's what we're talking about.
Well, we're talking about, childcare and stuff like that. We're talking about
language that they use, certain words that are more a nurturing nature than an aggressive nature.
Exactly.
Sentence structure, things like that.
And the only thing that science has found is that when men so let me say, I'm not a neuroscientist. And so, when I say I've done research, I've gone to...
I went to the wiki article and
I have journal access because I'm a university employee. So I went to journals and I read the literature, and I did this over the course of 4 hours. So I'm not an expert. I'm just reporting what the meta studies and studies that I looked at said, which is that there is no difference between men and women in this instance. The only thing that I have been able to come across, they found that there was a study where they were studying compassion, and they found that when men and women are feeling the same amount of self-reported compassion, their brains are operating differently. And that's the only literature that out there that supports any sort of difference.
So is there anything on the testosterone affecting aggression then?
Oh, sure.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's-
really what, I mean,
But that's not what he was talking about. He wasn't talking about aggression. He was talking about women as more nurturing.
Well,
and
I thought it
that's
was
why.
saying that men were more likely to buy his book because he has an aggressive writing style, I guess, and so aggressive men would then want to buy his book more.
That's kind of...
That's
kind
what
of
I
what
was
get.
kind of getting.
To a certain degree, I can see where it could be
He's-
construed as that.
He says the atheist variable doesn't obviously have this nurturing, coherence-building estrogen vibe. So he's talking about women. He's not talking about men and contrasting women. He's talking positively about women in there. He's wrong. Okay. He's wrong in that instance. Greta Christina is correct. However, what I want the one thing that I would say is I really wish that, in his response, there's some other problematic things that he says, but I think by and large, this is not a huge deal. He's wrong, and he should look at it and figure that out because he's a smart guy. But I think that the level of vitriol that is being leveled against him as a result of his comments are completely out of sync with.
Well, it is the
what he
internet,
actually said.
and he is a
But
big
these are
figure.
But these are other major figures like Greta Christina, who I think is she's not an A-list Sam Harris person, but she's a B-list person.
I've heard of her, so I guess
You're right.
that makes sense.
Okay, so before I tie this conversation to the grammar Nazi conversation,
Okay.
is there anything else you want to discuss about Sam Harris's situation?
Well, I guess what I really want to say is that I just looked at the chat room for a second and all I saw was I don't want his dick, but thanks anyway. I don't know what's been going on in our chat room while I've been talking about, but someone wants Jay's hair.
Oh, God.
I kind of do want Sam Harris's dick. Sorry.
Do you actually want his, or do you want your dick to be his dick, or do you want his dick to be anatomically your dick?
I want like a prosthetic that
Perhaps-
is, like they have
One
the
that's fully usable.
They have the
Perhaps we can
vaginas
get
of
the-
porn stars that you can do.
Oh,
I
So
want-
we should send him a mold dick,
yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
he
what I
can
want.
send
Yeah,
you a dildo
plaster
of his
cast.
Someone pass that along to him. That's what I want.
I'll see what I can do.
No. 'Cause she will-
own. You should totally do this.
Here's the
I'm
funny
going
thing is
to.
like Susan will actually get it.
It's like we want to interview. By the way,
She will show up 2 weeks from today with a plaster cast of
Look what I got, guys!
it's Sam Harris's dick.
I'll be so proud of myself.
I will do something amazing for you if you manage to make that happen.
No,
because
do
that would
not
be
even
great.
try.
Dear Sam Harris.
and if there's a
you
cost-
ever hear this,
And if there's a problem with the cost, I'm sure we can crowdsource it from from our chat
shit,
room.
I'll pay for
well,
that.
so right.
And then we're insisting on this being an atheist monument at the courthouse.
No, we're gonna put it
right next to the fucking Ten Commandments.
Sam Harris's
dick.
penis.
Who are we? Should we start that like as a thing, like the atheist dicks, and not like
Oh my god, that could be like a monstrous statue, just a whole bunch of dicks.
like the
almost
Game
feel
of
like-
Thrones throne made up of dicks?
I almost feel like we should do this in CCA. We should all have a mold of our dick made, and we should make a monument out of atheist dicks. We should
And
do
spell
this.
CCA.
So let me say that like right now this sounds like a great idea. Tomorrow it's not going to. But right now it sounds really good. But here's what I wanted to say about this, getting it back to the story. I think Sam Harris is wrong. I don't think it warranted the amount of hate that was leveled against him. I think he recounts a woman who confronted him after the event at his book signing, and I think that conversation, you should go read it. It's kind of indicative. It's like it's kind of. I think it's worthwhile. I think what Greta Christina was good, which was she confronted what he's obviously wrong about, and he should think about that and realize what he's wrong about because he is wrong. At the same time, this thing in the atheist community is really driving me crazy right now. And I think it's great that we have PZ Myers coming on next month because he's at the heart of it. I mean, the things that I was reading, people writing about him on the Friendly Atheist blog, of all things, a couple of weeks ago when he was talking about Robin Williams, which was unfortunate. But I don't know. I go back and forth between whether confronting people who are wrong like this and, people in glass houses and all that, I don't know whether it's healthy or not.
It's weird that you're against confronting him.
I'm not against confronting him. I'm against the what I view as demonization of people. People are wrong. Jay's wrong like every 5 minutes, like clockwork. But he's a good guy. I love Jay. You're my you're my guy. Being wrong should not be a hangable offense. I think there are people that you need to shun and get out of your movement if they are toxic, but I don't think Sam Harris is toxic.
And it kind of depends on how they react to it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
How you react to being told you're wrong is very
Absolutely.
important.
So what was his whole, like, how toxic was his responses to?
It wasn't very toxic. He said some more things that were wrong, but by and large, I think 90% of what he wrote was very, very logical and true. He's still wrong, and he's missing the point about where he's wrong. But there's nothing in here. And I'm like a hardcore feminist. I am, I will set people on fire. But I just don't think that this is one of those things. And I would invite anyone to disagree with me, please.
No. I think this is a great conversation. And I did not even realize that the whole grammar Nazi thing was going to tie into this. But, okay, so you said that his comments, his jokes about the estrogen vibe and the, whatever the first one was, his self-deprecating sexuality joke. Okay, so those, why do you consider those passable? And also,
good question.
Why do you are, specifically you, I'm speaking about you.
Sure.
You have a penchant for political correctness. You try to strive for that.
Well, I reject that label, but go ahead. I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, you try to be very, very correct and non
I try not to be an asshole.
Okay, so why is it that grammar Nazi is an okay thing to say, whereas other things aren't?
Any kind of Nazi is okay to say. I mean,
Why?
what is that disparaging?
Nazis, they're human beings. Duh.
Barely.
They're just following orders, dude.
I just find it strange that you're okay with using another generalization of, granted it wasn't a good movement, it wasn't a good thing.
It's not a generalization of people. It's a generalization of a political philosophy and the results of that philosophy.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Also, do you want to say something good about Nazis?
Well,
I mean,
the 4chan
this
thing
is
again,
Jay we're talking about.
the Mountain Dew bottle.
I thought that was one of the funniest fucking things ever. The Mountain Dew thing.
I don't
That
know
shit
what
was
that is.
hysterical.
Mountain Dew was doing a deal. It's like, oh, name our next flavor, and it was like and a green apple flavor, and there was like gushing granny and some other But the one that won though was Hitler did nothing wrong, and it was in the Mountain Dew font, and then like people would go to the store and tape it onto Mountain Dew boxes and everything. It was
wait a minute.
hilarious.
Okay, the fact that we all said that in unison, if that doesn't make it into an intro sometime, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Oh, it's so
That
great.
is never making an
Oh,
intro.
why not? It's
Can you send that
hysterical.
to me so I can use it as
I
a
will-
text message
I will
tone?
send that to you.
That's fucking awesome, slut. Okay, so let's get back to the Sam Harris thing and why his comments and his jokes were passable. Why were those passable?
Because so what was wrong? So let me restate what he said. The woman asked him why more men than women like him, and he said that it can only be attributed to my overwhelming lack of sex appeal. Now, what was wrong with it, sort of, is that it's heteronormative in that it is assuming all women are straight. Mm-hmm. However, there are straight women. So... and most women are straight. So just taking the joke at its face, he's not saying that, all women are attracted or not attracted to disgusting men. He's just saying that there are fewer women. So it's a joke. While you can say, yes, it's heteronormative, it's not at all discounting the existence of lesbians and bisexuals.
Do you think potentially you're willing to give him a pass because you appreciate his opinions on
No.
This is where I was going with it.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not. Because
I think you do offer more I think it's a human thing to offer more leniency to
I think
someone
that's true.
that you have a high opinion of, that you hold in high esteem.
But I'm not rationalizing here. I'm explaining. And if you want to poke a hole in the logic, if you who don't know who Sam Harris is want to poke a hole in the logic that I'm laying out here and point out that I'm rationalizing, I'm absolutely open to it. But it makes sense.
That's why I'm asking you because I don't. So personally, I don't see, with the exception of the estrogen vibe thing being a generalization and also wrong, and attributing estrogen to that.
I'm okay with that one too, sort of. That one's worse, and and one of the things he says in this thing, which I agree with, is when he said it, the way he said it is different than it reads on paper. I think that comment is far more problematic than his I'm not sexy one, because that was about him and not about women.
Sure, I agree with that. But the statement is, it is wrong in not only a factual context, but in that it's a generalization, a negative, derogatory generalization about women, Why is that passable? I don't understand why that's passable, even in joke format.
When I say passable, I mean not okay, but I'm not going to string them up about it.
Why not?
Because it's not, because A, it was intended humorously. And like I said, that entire sentence, that is the least problematic for me.
Well, isn't that kind of like Schrodinger's joke, though? It's like, oh, I didn't mean it because you got offended.
Well, no, I don't think it is. So do you think it's a funny joke? The estrogen vibe thing? If
No,
you said it, okay.
no. I think he deserved to be mocked resoundingly for that.
Okay, so, but it's still
But it's a joke.
passable.
Well,
is what you said.
The joke about himself, yes. The joke about other people,
Yeah,
no.
well, the joke about himself.
So that whole sentence with the estrogen vibe is the sentence that I have a big problem with. And that's the one where he's wrong. He is wrong there. And he needs to realize that. I'm not about to toss him out of the movement for that joke, though.
Okay.
I don't think it rises to the level of, he's not disparaging women.
Well,
he's doing what you did earlier in the show, which
was
was
exactly what I was bringing it back to.
He did exactly what you did earlier in the show, which was to promote a positive stereotype of someone. It's still a stereotype. It's still wrong.
Well, I think the biggest thing is he hasn't established a pattern of sexism. Now, if this was one in a long string of sexist remarks, then yeah, absolutely. But since this is, I think, the only one that I know of personally,
that we're aware of anyway.
Yeah.
I was bringing it back to that in that you said when you were first discussing it that okay, it's still okay, passable, blah blah blah. This is the problem I have with it. Whereas something along the lines of what I said, which again was a positive stereotype, still stereotyping, and said in a joking manner, whether it was funny or not, is
so let me.
They're one and the same to me.
I disagree.
How so?
First, going back to what Reb just said, which is there's no pattern, and with you, there's a pattern.
Absolutely.
There's a pattern of behavior with you,
Absolutely.
and I think it's not a good one. I think it hurts other people. Also, what I've said on this show repeatedly. I mean, I go back to what I said about Stephen Hawking on last week's show. I think A, it was pretty funny, but
it was hysterical.
But B, I mean, also ableist. So I mean, I can be rightfully criticized for that comment. I don't have a history of saying those things, so I give myself a pass on that.
Sure.
Even though at the time I even said, "Oh my God, stop talking about this." It's terrible.
I guess I fail to understand why you have such an issue with racial stereotype jokes. I
They're
fail
hurtful.
to understand it.
They're hurtful. They hurt people.
No, they don't.
But they also
You don't. Whoa. You don't think that racial stereotypes hurt people?
In a joking fashion, absolutely not.
They do.
Yeah.
Even in an innocuous fashion. This is science.
It
There are
creates
studies.
connections in your brain that
Yes.
allow you to connect more negative emotions towards that race, which then leads to negative actions.
It's kind of like how you introduce little kids really slowly to
Sure,
the Bible and shit like that.
You indoctrinate them. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. It's if you're sitting there making those sorts of jokes and the people around you are saying, oh, haha, that's funny, you're kind of indoctrinating yourself into thinking that it's okay because you're getting the positive reinforcement from the reaction to it.
Right. And I mean, there are psychological studies that show that even just being exposed to caricatures of your culture are negatively create negative impacts psychologically on members of those things. The other thing is that let me bring it back to misogyny and feminism. Let's talk about make me a sandwich jokes or iron my shirt. These are, I'm sure the first time someone said that, it was funny. I'm sure it was funny. It's not funny anymore. And it's not funny when you hear it all the time. As a member of a minority or a member of a group, if you hear the same thing over and over again, like, haha, Asians are so smart, or haha, women should make me a sandwich or iron my shirt, or haha, look at that black guy, he's a criminal. That will, A, it's not funny anymore, but B, so I mean, like literally there's no humor there. But B,
there's no humor there.
There's no humor there.
To you, there are lots and lots and lots of people who find a lot of those things very funny.
You think that what you said about Asian people was funny?
What I said, no, the context, it wasn't funny.
No,
but,
it wasn't funny. So
but those jokes can absolutely be funny, and they can be comical depending on your humor.
As
No,
long
if
as
you're not
you're-
Asian, sure.
as
yeah.
long as you're not the butt,
No, that's not even true. That's absolutely not true. I mean,
you cannot retell a stereotype and have that be funny.
Yes, you can.
No.
Comics do it all
Well, just
the time.
because
No, no,
people
no,
laugh
no.
at it doesn't mean it's funny.
No,
What?
that's absolutely true. But what I'm saying,
Just because you
laughing's a reaction.
Okay, laughing is a reaction oftentimes, but to say that everyone, as a blanket statement, that's not funny to anyone is bullshit.
to anyone, no, because I mean,
It's not funny to you.
My son finds farting very funny.
Right.
Farting is not funny.
I find farting funny. I don't know about you. That's-
Leslie points
It's-
out in the chat room, lots of bullies love those jokes.
Yes.
That's very true. And I think that as long as it's taught and that the people that are hearing it and the people that are in the company of those things, as long as they understand that it is a joke and that they understand the facts and the science behind it,
Science tells us that that's not true. Science tells us that just being exposed to a caricature or a belittling, even humorous, even if it is legitimately funny, causes a negative psychological impact. So you're hurting people when you do that.
if you are equipped and armed with the facts that say that
No.
yes, this is not true, and you see this at the same time, if you see a caricature
this is one of those things-
It's
Jay.
a psychological effect,
Right.
and it goes over facts that you know and facts that you know to be true. It creates a positive reinforcement between the bad stereotype and your thoughts and beliefs about it. And so then when you think positively about these negative racial stereotypes, it translates into actions, which you will then go and vote against things that would be better for people.
I need to think about this, the psychological impact
Please,
of it more.
please look
sort
up
of-
some studies because this is scientific. This is not something you can debate. This is true.
You can't debate science?
No, not you.
Science
Not
is
with
debatable.
with science.
Right,
You can't just
yeah.
sit here
No,
in
I'm
Jay's
not saying
chair.
that. No, I'm not saying that,
Okay.
that opinion
That's
can
all I'm
debate
saying.
science. No.
Okay,
But,
that's all I'm saying.
Okay, just making sure you're not saying that it's science, it's fact, it's in stone.
You can't sit there and say, "Well, I don't believe that." No, this is repeated findings.
Sure, I understand that. And,
Okay.
and
So you can't sit there and say that's not true.
No, I'm not saying that it's not
Okay,
true.
great.
What I'm saying is that my personal belief is obviously not founded in the same scientific studies and all that you're referencing. I need to think about it and go back and look at these things more. But
And it's going
I
to
do
affect
have-
different people, differently.
Right.
But on the whole, it would be better societal wise if you didn't.
I have an opinion about it, and I have a thought about it that I'm going to reserve until I think about it and flesh it out more.
Let's talk about Rush then.
Let's talk about. You want to talk about that, Susan, or Rush
The Rush
Limbaugh?
Limbaugh. Let me bring that back.
Let me say, I do have to leave in like 10 minutes.
Okay,
Oh, then I want to hear about safe words. Then.
let's do safe words first.
Yeah.
This is just kind of a one-off story. The
Okay,
safe word
tell
thing
the story.
Okay, so in the BDSM community I'm involved in, this happened not this past New Year's, but New Year's before that. We were having a party, and one of the people in the party was really, really drunk, and she and a friend of hers decided that they were going to put on lipstick and start kissing everybody in random places and leaving lipstick marks all over them.
Okay.
Well, she did this to the point where it got really annoying. And everybody was really done with it, and she didn't realize that because she was drunk off her ass. So she kept doing it and kept doing it. One of our other friends, who's her roommate at the time, decided to put an end to it by taking her over her knee and started spanking her. Like, she's a sadist, so she started really spanking her, which is not out of the norm for these two. Well, while she's being spanked, she keeps going, YOLO. YOLO, YOLO, YOLO. She just keeps saying YOLO. And we're just like, yep, YOLO, yep. Whoever wants YOLO. Well, what we failed to recognize is that weeks earlier at a gathering we'd had, in a joking fashion, we had agreed that the group safe word was going to be YOLO.
Oh no!
And only she in her drunken mind remembered it, and none of the rest of us did.
Wow.
We didn't realize it until weeks later. She's being spanked, yelling out this safe word she thinks is actually the group safe word. It was great.
That reminds me of what we were talking about in the pre-show that led to us putting this in here, which is what if you forgot to make a safe word? Oh, that
Always
sucks.
have a safe word, man.
And remember it.
It seems like it should be like written
Remember.
down somewhere. Like everyone here's a safe word. Look
She
at
just
it.
had like a
Sarah
chemical
Pa-
flashback or something.
Sarah Palin style, write it on your hand. So you like safe word equals. Oh, that sucks.
Or carry a tennis ball everywhere.
What?
Is that another story we don't know about?
Very, very, very. Well, it's not extremely common, but fairly common for when BDSM activities. If someone's bound and gagged so that they can't speak, that you give them a tennis ball, and their safe word is when they drop the tennis ball.
They can wing it at your head.
That works too, but it's a tennis ball, so it doesn't hurt very much. But yeah, you drop the tennis ball, it means red.
No, I did not know that.
So anyway, apparently Rush thinks that no doesn't always mean no. You have to be able to tell
You have to know what to
it
look
means.
for.
Yes, yeah, you have to be able to know what to look for, which is really ridiculous because I don't even want to think about Rush Limbaugh and sex in any capacity.
Okay, hold on. Clarify what he's trying to say. You have to know what to look for.
You have to know whenever a girl is like
Social
she's
context.
saying
When no means yes?
no.
Yes.
Yeah, when no means yes. She's saying no, but she actually means yes. When it's like no, she's saying no, she means no, dude.
He's talking about wearing down a person
Yeah.
until they will just let you do it. That's what he's talking about. And he's wistfully reminiscing about...
One time when he did that.
I can't even.
Yeah.
Will
I know.
somebody please just shoot that dude?
So, I mean, he is
Figuratively speaking.
mourning,
Not literally.
mourning the fact that you can't just...
And trap a woman in your house and force her to have sex with you
can't-
eventually.
It's not
after
like the
she-
old movies where the man just grabs the woman and kisses her and it's oh so passionate, but she's actually like fighting and going, "Get the fuck off me, dude."
Yeah, yeah. And
It's like that.
he wants to pull a Michael Shermer.
That's what I
and-
was about to say. I read something today about
Michael
this.
Shermer, I'm not familiar with.
Oh, really? Because I was just about to say we should wrap up with the Michael Shermer thing. Because I want to know what you guys think about that.
I don't know anything about
Do
Michael
you know?
Shermer.
Do you know Michael? Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay, he's
Never heard the name before.
prominent atheist and skeptic.
Must be like a C or D lister. I've never heard of him.
No, he's actually pretty prominent. I mean, he's
Oh,
like,
I guess he's like.
I love how he categorizes people into A-list, B-list, and
Right.
so on.
Oh, you guys
I'm talking
are
about you,
categorizing.
Christian.
he's practically the.
Oh, he's the one who wrote Why People Believe Weird Things?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I have that book, I think. I think Justin gave it to me. I think.
So he's an American science writer, historian of science, founder of the Skeptics Society, and editor-in-chief of its magazine Skeptic, which is largely devoted to investigating pseudoscientific and supernatural claims. The Skeptics Society currently has over 55,000 members. He also debates.
Okay, so he's a cool guy. Anyhow,
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I liked him.
or was a
So
cool guy. I guess.
he
I don't know
is
what happened.
allegedly, haha. There have been many women who have come forward and said he's a sexual predator. One person in particular, listen, somebody or the other, basically said that, he, and this is basically his MO because other women have come forward and said, yes, he's done this to me. He's kind of a celebrity in the community. He will latch onto somebody and force drinks on them. I mean, this is Richard Dawkins is in a lot of trouble because he's just like he weighed in on this because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And he's blaming the women for it. But basically, he took this woman to a cigar and something party, scotch or I don't know. But they were like basically pouring drinks, and he one for me, one for you. And towards the end of the night, she realized that he was taking his drinks and hiding them under the table while he was making
Making her drink more.
making
than
her
him, right?
drinks, right?
Wow.
So then she tries to leave the party, and this is what she says that, she's really drunk, and she's trying to get back to her hotel, and he like grabs her and it's like, well, I'll help you and I'll take you back to your hotel room. Instead, takes her back to his hotel room, and she passes out and wakes up, obviously having had sex at some point.
It sounds wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now-
He starts calling people and starts doing damage control, like, this crazy woman did this. And
It reminds me of like when Mike Tyson and his whole thing, and it's like, oh, well, what did that woman think was going to happen when she went
Yeah.
into his hotel room? It's
Exactly.
like, well, I mean, even if she did go up there with the intention, if at some point she said no or didn't want to, then that
or
ends
was
it.
incapacitated
Yeah.
because
Right.
you push drinks into her hands. I mean, and not that. So
Let's set the consent thing aside for just a second
Okay.
and ask, just because I haven't read the whole story, was this story corroborated by anyone else, or is
Yes.
this a he said, she said?
Well, okay, so obviously no one was there when they had sex.
Right.
She doesn't remember that part. There were other people who corroborate the story, like, wow, that was really creepy, and what he was doing was very predatory.
With the
and stuff
drinks.
like that.
Gotcha.
And there are other
That's-
people who
yeah.
say that he's done this to them at, in other events. This is his MO. This is
Gotcha.
what he does.
Okay, cool. That was my question. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is distasteful.
rape.
Yeah, it is rape.
Yeah. That is a sexual predator.
Yeah.
So
Like
there's
in-
really no other way to
In
color
every
it.
sense of the
Yeah.
word.
He needs to be stopped.
Yeah. So, and then people are mad at James Randi, who's a gay man, who has never been drunk. He has never had alcohol in his life, and he's like 80, 100 years old.
Yeah, he's old and awesome.
It's like, why was she drinking in
So
the
why-
first
why-
place?
Well, what he
Why
was
the
saying was that, he talked to Michael Shermer and said, if this is true, I will have to turn down the amount of times you appear at my events. But he said, that Michael Shermer told him that he was drinking at the time, and he said, apparently this is what men do when they get drunk.
Who said that?
James Randi.
Ooh.
I don't know. I've never done that when I was
Yeah,
drunk.
right?
That's supposed to mean
Yeah, I haven't either.
Alcohol reduces inhibitions and brings out a lot more of the real person that hides underneath than
Yeah.
it does anything else.
It doesn't make you a different person. It just brings out who you are.
I mean, yeah, it can make you do stupid shit you wouldn't otherwise do. But
Yeah, I don't know if
It
it
doesn't
necessarily
make you do
brings out
things
who you are. I think it's more just because who you are is who you are in normal life.
No,
and
that's
there's
true,
certain
that's
things
true.
that your different guilts would stop you from doing certain things.
The deep
but-
down stuff.
Well, yeah, but deep down, we all have a monster that could potentially be exposed given certain conditions.
Why
Absolutely.
do you think I don't drink anymore?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say this guy
Diabetes.
is a monster or
That
whatever because
antidepressants and all
no, I'd
sorts
say
of
he's a
stuff.
monster because of what he did. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that alcohol is what.
no,
made him a
alcohol
monster.
doesn't make anyone rape anyone.
No.
Right. And I have done dumb things because I was drunk, but I
know,
have
I don't think
never
me in
done.
the back of the back of my Bronco.
That wasn't
I-
dumb. That was meant to be.
It was consensual cuddling, okay?
I have
Wow,
never
so he
done
thinks.
anything that I'm just like, wow, that's totally out of character.
Usually when I'm drunk and I see other people doing stupid stuff, it's like, why are you doing this? That's so stupid.
I would just much rather get stoned, sit back, and laugh at people who are drunk.
I always say, especially when I was in college, it's like, we're all underage. If you piss on that guy's door and knock on people's stuff, we're going to get caught.
Oh, you were the paranoid guy.
Yeah.
I was that guy too.
Well, it was just like, why are you doing that? You know that's going to be like bad if we get caught. Like, just enjoy your drinks and have a good time. You don't need to go knock on random
You just
people's
didn't get drunk
doors.
enough, apparently, because I was that up until a certain point, and then it was just like, fuck it, this is funny.
No, it was just like, that's stupid.
I'm trying to bring up the Dawkins tweets about the Michael Sherman
And it's like,
thing.
I have like a life that I don't want to ruin with an MIP.
I gotta roll, guys.
Okay. See ya, bro.
Deuce.
You guys
Can
continue.
anyone find any chat room? Can you find Dawkins's tweets about drunk women?
I'm glad I'm leaving now. It's just gonna piss me off.
I can't find it. God damn it.
Raping a drunk woman is appalling, so is jailing a man when the sole prosecution evidence is I was too drunk to remember what happened.
Yeah, that's one.
I literally just Googled Richard Dawkins on drunk women. Tweets about drunk women.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can kind of, getting back to what Jay was saying earlier, I can kind of get Richard Dawkins likes Michael Shermer. I like Michael Shermer. Guy's awesome. No, let me let me take that back.
The content he created in the past
Yeah,
was good.
It was good.
He is a person.
But you know, there's a difference between obviously women don't like me because of the lack of my sex appeal and
Bye, guys. Have a good.
I am a predator who
Yes.
feeds on drunk women.
and here have another drink. You know, using predatory tactics. I mean, even if she's drinking the drinks he's giving her, the reason he's giving her those drinks is very, very obvious. Back door. Is there anything else that we wanted to talk about in post show?
No, that was it. That was all the notes.
Chat room, you got anything?
I don't want to call in.
Yeah, anyone want to? I'm logged into my personal account. If anyone wants to call in the chat room, you let me know and I'll give you my personal account and you can call in.
You got like 5 minutes.
Um,
If not less.
Okay. Well, I think we can call it a night. I loved the hell out of David McAfee. I enjoyed that so McCafe. That may be the show title, David G. McCafe.
I'm loving it.
I really I liked talking to him more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I was getting kind of nervous towards that we were getting to the end of our questions. Like, oh, are we going to meet the full hour? But
we could have gone a lot longer. I think.
Yeah.
I skipped a bunch of stuff that I wanted to say to him just because I was looking at the time and like, damn. I had that exact thought like the first 10 minutes of the thing. I was like, we are going to blow through
we
this.
just blazed through like 4 questions immediately.
Yeah. I was like, we are going to be done before.
Oh, shit. We need to get with him and get the best question.
We're going to... I made an executive decision that I did not inform you of that we're just going to do that from now on because everyone...
fucker. Okay.
Because we'll just do that after the
It was only the last 2 are like, I don't remember. Yeah.
Everyone's been like that. Greta Christina is the only one who like really called someone out, but everyone else is like, I don't know. I've been talking to you guys for an hour, so I figure we'll just figure it out and go from there. Alrighty. Never asked Dave. What does that mean?
Oh, what the best question was.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, we just covered that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I will see you guys next Tuesday. We're back to Tuesdays next week. Next week is going to be our official 1-year anniversary, which is actually our 1-year anniversary, even though this is the 52nd episode, because we did 2 episodes the week that Dillahunty was in town. Yeah. So 53 is actually the 1-year anniversary, although we're already way past that because we did like 7 episodes before we started actually releasing them. So 1 year, motherfuckers.
Damn.
I'll drink to that. See you guys next week.
You'll drink to anything.
Right? I'll leave that open. Fuck it. We'll do it live! Oh, hey, watch this.
Hey,
I'm
don't
gonna
close
fucking
it.
save this motherfucker this week.
Leave it alone.
Oh, I can't tell you the indescribable pain when I realized that I had just destroyed the entire show last week. It was so bad. I wanted to kill myself.
It's awfully dramatic. So just one episode. It could be that lost episode.
Right. Only the
knows
people in the chat room can really say.
Years from now, people like there's
Oh God, Filibuster 54 just found another one of Dawkins's tweets.
What was it?
Quote, "Officer, it's not my fault. I was drunk driving. You see, somebody got me drunk. Fuck you, motherfucker. Just be careful.
It's mine. Yeah.
Freaking out just a little bit.
I understand.
Whoops. File.
Yeah, blaming somebody else for getting.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
For you getting drunk or for you getting a DWI. I think Mike's still on.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what is
Do you want me to turn them off so you can say whatever you want to say?
Huh?
Do you want me to turn them off so you can say
Well, no, it's just me being an asshole.
Well, because the logic is you can't blame someone